Monday, 16th May 2016, and it is Buenos Aires morning, 9:15. I'm supposedly to come to my prerogative that I will be punished by the state of Argentina, and that I could not leave treatments because if I could not stop to taking medications about the sickness of this disgusting, abominable land. Pretended of superior, going through the corridors of the building I'm living in, saying, "Here the liar," and in the whole of the streets, saying, "Here the liar," we crossed by with the one that the liar. This vaist sick land propitiated a very unnumbered point for a very so disgusting ways to deliver what they pretended to be making, and a very numberless reality for a very mass of non-individualized elemental realities themselves, with so much cruelty, sickness, in the one point seeking, and the revenge seeking, and the hatred of the eyes, and the wait for the same that had be them waits for them judgments will be the counting with, and no other. This disgusting Argentina land keeps on propitiating the same class of things and producing the same all. It is about this morning, I just woke up really for around 7 a.m. here in Buenos Aires, and I just woke up after slept really heavily, not so great. The clear of this day delivered to me into I have been my activity like every day, supposedly my delusional hallucinating character of a schizoid, bipolar, megalomaniac, maniac persecutor, that I will be the hero and the separate agent all over the world, propitiated a dismasking by Ejército Argentino, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas, Cuerpo Médico Forense Argentino, and Poder Judicial de la Nación Argentina, making up cases all plus with one view, delired over supposed familiar case demon to the holding until the last, and while background with no noticing and nothing but forgeries and elemental sickness about the whole of the compound, telling that they will teach me lessons of life and respect that nobody will, in the terms of F word, which is not exactly the definition, sorry for this, term here is joder, no se jode, with Argentina. Now, the reality for elemental idioms, for the putting in happened actually the reality that we were working like naturally, like every day, at the Terrorism Council in United Nations, and it's true, liaison office, and it's true, and states bodies, and it's true. And suddenly I'm crossed by at this day while I just done my activity, and evangelistas of Guillermo Horacio Prein and Juan Crudo, and Osvaldo Carnival, and Omar Cabreras, and Carlos Anacondias, making the profanation like a teller, and deflectively telling that that is the desperated natures for the supposed word of the Lord for the trend to succeeding El Cristo. And this is exactly what they were saying permanently, that God wouldn't have nothing but them. And off of them, God wouldn't have nothing at all. And I heard suddenly such a very criterial reality between this, that they will determine the possibilities because of they will handle the power of heaven. In the middle of this, few were saying around after I done my activity like I have been doing for about 13 years, and a little bit more with not really much activity for the institutions, at the clear fact of making the job of preserving or preserve what naturally it is. I'm sorry for the not proper word. The clear of the soul is exactly the point of every day is the same, and the rumors between evangelics which like prostitutes. So the plegma sechelikish fosemaplem, which I am not talking about victims. Once I say prostitute, I refer about what it is, the amphasma, The word that we were discussing in Egyptian, which is exactly the same in Hindu, is puta. Puta mota. Black mahal befohasim, at this way to say, which refers about the reality of a person, no matter the gender, that delivers each efforts they and breathe to instigating the whole of the condition of the powered ones for whatever the media to stimulating and taking benefit about sending to murder and destroying people for the taking power positions. And it's exactly this class. Now the reality is the simplicity. Foplekmi revefehua blevesoktleki mahrevesem slua blevefohot kalikime revefohushvel bilbaspatlikeme in levesman. So in the reality for this, and bleki fohot helef ma blech machalki vit blevesosim slua bleki mahrevefehua blevesoslevis otshelati. And where these evangelicals of Guillermo Nasribrain and the rest telling, so you are powerful to fighting against a military. And making the instigation like this class, puta mota, prostitutes of the hell, sickness criminals, for the proceeding about the stimulating. Power! It's the power! He thinks he's powerful. Do you have power? Everything seems like the power thing and they don't want to lose the domain. After the whole abominations did done to me and to everybody's deflective like the hell and saying that off of them wouldn't be cut found, that I would be a lie and a cheating. And everybody of mine, we will be all demons, I will be the beast, keeps on proceeding about making the same, and propitiating with the whole of them bodies that I will be the beast in the world for my activity, for all I do, and for I have certain view that will be the liars for the local, because of here I will the liar, here I will rob to pray, and here I will rob everything I got, here I will rob to the armed forces, everything I exist I am, and also my body. And I do. Here I will rob because of they planned, like today, to take the states again, went in the state of Israel, demanding with orders made up in Argentina, telling International Court of Justice, liaison office and International Criminal Court for UNASUR, with people of Mauricio Macri, the whole of KIRSCHNERS, and the whole of POLICÍA FEDERAL ARGENTINA, and pretender of expertises, Ministerio de Seguridad Argentino, Ministerio de Defensa Argentino, militaries, and the whole of them communities, and Cadalida, the sickness of them, the liars land, which are every one of them. And in the reality of this, well, keeps on going and coming and delivering to hearing what needs to briefing and having the coin of the day in front of a sickness of tribunales, offering $2 million for any term to say that cannot kill. And offering money to people for anyone to say anything of me. At the background, hiding like I will be the super criminal because of I will be insulting and damaging and murdering people all over in Argentina. Like a rewarding for I will be a criminal. And also the Jewish. Well, we're permanently instigating for this, masking and covering the complete of the sickness that were done about my person and pretending I to be dead for they to be alive because of, at last, we don't have to pay because of I will be the cause. I shouldn't be birthed and they will ever have rights to be me and taking which is mine. Even of my accounts, files ripped out, delivering with Tribunales Argentina and Evangelicos Argentina and KIRSCHNERS, permanently peronistas, that photos that mine and I did it, example, will belong to the chicks of Policía Federal Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional and Metropolitana, that they will have the careers and the prices for the whole of the photos that supposedly I will rob them, for the using that against the State of Israel organizations of photographies, corporations that were sponsors of a lot of activities that we were doing, saying that everything will belong to them for, because of we will rob them. And like with this, with the rest all. Especially I wouldn't have my super boys. Where is the super powers? It's over with the super powered one. It's over with the prophet. It's over with the holy. It's over with the soprano. It's over with nothing. They are over ever after. And the reality is that we're in the Mediterranean, we're in the Adriatic, we're at the Nilo at the Indic, pretending to destroy the land of Israel, and went inside Israel, threatening to attack Israel, and also at the lands, immediations to the trying to take positions. Ejército Argentino, Ejército Zona Sur, with them associated in the world. And Evangelics United, Evangelicals, Argentina, demanding for the corporations Sahab Motors, El Al, airline of Israel, government of Israel and the whole of the economy and the money of reimbursement of mine, buildings, houses, a Mercedes-Benz wagon, and some other to be given to them, because of I will rob to them. And they will have rights with the inventions of Argentina to taking also crafters. And no one were taken, and no one will. Now the reality is when to murder people and saying that had taken the land because of will belong to them as well, to evangelicals, because of they will be the official of the God, and nothing off of that will ever be taken because of wouldn't be found God off of them because of they moved powers, and it's about power. So it's exactly like I came on saying so long. Where is found God? Well, he say, with my spirit, at the presence of my will. The one that is harming or destroys and causes more pain and terror that commands. The one that organizes and stimulates, I gotta be, and seeks for the bashed abomination. I use so power to fight against the militaries. Disgusting hell whores. Criminals that generate genociders. Organizing and instigating and corrupting people all over, saying that they gotta win to me. And here I was a liar. We have done the job, and the job is concluded completely. And completely. So suddenly, in the point of the pleki mahara fehua blevesot plevi farak haligi so hoshvasim. Supposedly I will be internated today because of they cannot tolerate this to keep on happening. And I will rob the advertisement and the last night's the pathetic singing that this land tend to sing whenever I come so softly like in every breath of a broken voice. At the saying certain things like are between nostalgic, between just pale on life, like, I don't know, fading. Expressionism, if you want, why not? Stopleki I will rub to them. The advertisement, the corporation of Stelker, Rannen, and Rankin wouldn't exist. Until I do rub to them, the rest of the corporations, even Rolls-Royce, Aero Navigation Division, for what it is, the engines of the jumbo jets that permanently were doing what I should be working. The same Interpol wouldn't exist. The same UPS and the person that were murdered 300 meters from my door to delivering me international criminal courts, documentation and gov-eals documentation in my hand at my door wouldn't exist neither UPS and neither nothing like I say it is because of they will command. I neither thought something like it means royalty of Israel and the state of Israel. Like for the world, I wouldn't exist and I wouldn't do nothing on this. Wouldn't exist Mr. President Barack Obama, wouldn't exist Mr. President of States Parties, wouldn't exist United Nations, wouldn't exist consuls of anti-terrorism and war, wouldn't exist no celebrity, wouldn't exist no artist, wouldn't exist no justice parties, no activity, no states parties, no DRMT, wouldn't exist nothing in the United Nations I will ever been through, or to be elected on my person, wouldn't exist no royals, wouldn't exist no God. For evangelicals and this degenerates and keeps on proceeding about making the same gestalt class, and no one ever stops. For the power who has it, and I'm sorry for this, but it's a rhetorical, not psychiatric, and not psychologist patterns on nothing but what I defined and I shown. Who has it bigger is the domain. And whenever it says bigger, is the class of an elemental which proceeds about 2 making the destruction, the pain, the suffer, the tear, and that will be power, but not for no macho, elemental, neurotic, at the reality of psychology deflected, with the burden of victims and for it. But this is sodoma, which we talk about. And sodoma is a very sensitive sickness experiencing other class of things that are not flesh and bones, and including flesh and bones, and is for rape and destroying, and who causes and proceeds about to making, like Hitler, the best cumulus of sickness so audacious sickness all over, to showing that can domain command organize and commenken bankilak grepengen, to proceed about to making the worst of the terrors and hells for everybody to bend down, or rather to die. And it's exactly what Ejército Argentino, KIRSCHNERS, and Evangelistas Unidos of Brain, and the whole of the bodies associated in NACION were causing and are making. So it's like a very choke and audaciously for this tierra enferma y malnacida degenerada with the pardon of victims, to tell, here the liars, here robbed, and here, oh my God, whatever invention, whatever sickness, for they to do, murdering state for a liar, and I will after, and you're going to do to me, Argentina, UNASUR. You're going to be the hugest in the world for Sodoma and Gomorra, and the sickness of the whole of the citizens, and the abomination ever after. Yes, see, we're right. It's exactly this. Malnacida figuras, with a part of victims. Fople kimo revefejua blevesople vespatle tishkal kamachal, leile kime revesojua blevesosim, started to repeating the pattern of making the double check. Terrorism course with bombs. Argentina Militar Gendarme Federal, CIDE, Metropolitana Fuerzas Armadas, KIRSCHNERS, Evangelistas Unidos, UNASUR, and seeking places for the train to double check, forcing for one or another to happen. What to choose? Who do you love? Evangelistas Unidos. Their strategy of them, Lord, for the supposed proof. They will prove me. They will prove my making, and they will prove Israel. And are diablos enfermos, cría de Lucifer. And everyone on, oh, but he robs. He doesn't have no capacity because of, we're evangelics, they are forensics, they are the expertises, our judges, it's the presidents. And for the rest, are evangelics. You cannot say not to be. It's like the title, the power, the position, and whatever moves, and whatever the facade, whatever the title, whatever the holding, opportunistic, organized bunch of abominables, from their own, the action, the word itself, justifying for covering the whole abominations they are. And ain't no God there, are demons. And no one is going to be no other. And and the ones that turn to saying I done first are the head for the making these abominations, covering and manipulating and keep on making the less humanity. We are not seeking. With the head of evangelicals justifying and affording diablos and stimulating like course to the whole abomination of Sodom and Gomorrah, which are to having the coin and the power. Making the profanations themselves, saying that they can possess me. Making witchcraft and teller sickness. Telling that they are going to kill the whole of the world and the whole of Israel for the taking positions, and after that they will make the war on me. Because of that will be the strategy of the Lord. They will kill the beast, and they are going to get all killed. Everyone. But victims. Is a land of abominables and fevered over what it is, judgment, self-judgment, and the criteria of a deflected intellectuality delivered into a culture of an evangelic a witch, a phallus of an abominable freak, violent, degenerate with uniform, and that is exactly Argentina, with the burden of victims, what they live suffering for. So, the one that supposedly delires is gonna bury the goddamn land of the delirers, sickness, pretender of superior and rights, and the right judgment for the whole of the world, of the abominables like them, and pretending to be the right to taking whoever's lives, and whatever to have, and whoever to exist, and lands and governments and all patrimonies, and virtues, in the name of a phallus of a degenerate, rotten beast of a meat. Sodoma, Argentina, uniform, forces and army, and KIRSCHNERS, and United Evangelicals, and civils of them. In the name that they will be the only ones. And witnesses of the generación, for a coin and for a position, and for some favor around, like Rodolos, and them associated, for they to have the best business. I will deny her. So they need to murder the whole of Israel, the government and abroad, and the whole people that knows me and loves me, for they to say that they are going to show that I will be the beast. And the whole of the world. Because if I will communicate to the Rolio, a satellite that is not a Rolio, it's a simple DRMT with squares and towers with a very like pallets around, which are the solar panels, that doesn't have no Rolio's view. And the sick degenerados dares to keep on manipulating ignorance and sick fever for a coin to sing and doing whatever. Tierra de abominables for ages and eternally. Fopleki maharefechua blevesosima bem, leiblikam maharefechul, the supposed prophecies of el apóstol del amor. Bleki maharefechua blesim, brujos, pseudo-Nazis, Lucifer, everyone. Flekama refachal hanam, and desperate for having more power and making more destructions and are dangerous. And I won't be no beast. And Al-Khai is going to give testimonies for this himself, at self-will, whenever to be necessary. And the reality is, this diablo degenerados engendros de Sodoma, Evangelistas Unidos, all militaries, the sickness, especially Sergio Vanegas, Norma Napoli, Marisol González, Jorge García, Fabián Quiroz, Sebastián Esperanza, and the whole degenerates with them, Diablos abominables, like Guillermo Aracepren and Osvaldo Carnival, militaries, pseudo-Nazi, pseudo-Christians, and them associated all. Fabián González, Alejandro Santotasi, Jorge Chaucian, Roberto Monte, Javier Masilo, Raúl Jiménez, Edgardo Favor, Omar Cabrera, Juan Crudo, Roberto Miso, the strategy of the millennium, Ejército Argentino, telling that they will do it because of they know I have been birthed here. And since 1973, 74, 75, 76, never stopped doing this. Like you see today, my supposed hilarious. HTTPS www.ddintmc fablek fablan. Lactica magrabefechua blebesosel blebefoch masir, leplebi fochat chiliki magrabefua blebesosel kibishbat kimigrabeteshvet, laplebi pochomat lechman chalkibewa blebesosel blebesosel bishbat kimigran, fablebespotleki magrabefechua blebesosel blebespotleki magrabeplan. Ample spotleki megrave focho shvad besoste blekal ramatim sableve focho khalgi bigrave khwa blesoste blesot bleskat lagi ramatachal an shle kamachala aflach khalgi besoste blesut blekibachim medolsis medol edecv lakta 8.8 is a central goal of 6 Pictac, sextoc, backlog. This is programming for log TTRNT systems in Unix base, and F4 for the whole of the DMC recall this, and F9 for the last tools at the systems recall at the normal standardized that we are handling. Now, 1,006,404 persons were murdered. We have them all. The complete of the bodies. We have them families in the whole of the region, and some in New York City, others in Geneva. And the reality is that this gives that the capsule and and proceeds about making the same naturally everyone, and for words about what they says got to be happening are the obsessed sickness and all in base of power. Are you so powered like to hold in the sickness of Argentina? And on a source. Do you have power enough for the calling yourself that you have rights to live? Do you have power enough to calling yourself an artist, an author? Do you have power enough to be a president or a judge, lies in office? Do you have power enough to be royal? Do you have power enough to say that you will defend your case and your reality? Of love will be found nobody but the sickness, Lucifer. That's what evangelicals are, with the pardon of victims we were fighting for, and it's not a lie. The inventions of Argentina, HTTPS www, DCP DCI middle, MEITRNC middle, Naciones Unidas middle, G8 middle, ASSP SB SUDR MMMMD SP 2423 middle, Anton Simpor middle, ISSP middle, Poder Judicial de la Nación, Suprema Justicia DSPE, UNASUR, guión del medio, middle, Supreme Court of Justice Argentina, in Spanish, Corte Suprema de Justicia de la Nación Argentina, middle, DDRNT, middle, Presidencia de la República Argentina, middle, Senado Nacional, middle, EDIC, ORDEC, ORDOM, middle, DCIP, middle, Corte de Justicia Internacional UNASUR, rechazada de ser, Liaison Office rechazada de ser, Corte Criminal Internacional rechazada de ser, Cónsuls, Antiterrorismo, Guerra rechazados de ser y Seguridad rechazados de ser, UNASUR rechazada de ser. Middle, demanda en contra de los estados partes y estados célebres, Naciones Unidas, por destrucción de patrimonio, derecho, nación, cultura, étnica, religión, ciencia y robo de propiedad intelectual y propiedad científica y propiedad industrial de la República Argentina y de la UNASUR por la persona de Alejandro Mario Blanco llamado Redemí, llamado Elishel Eliev Blanco Redemí en el Estado de Israel, Alexer Blanc en el Estado de los Estados Unidos, Alenko Blasco en el Estado de Rusia, Alejandro Mario Blanco Redemí en el Estado de España, Aleso Brenot Blantu en el Estado ucraniano, con multiplicidad de obras de terrorismo y crimen organizado en los estados nombrados en contra de la República Argentina y los estados de la UNASUR, para ejecución y destrucción de estados y matanza por haberse atrevido a ofender, dañar y destruir los estados argentinos y de la UNASUR y sus fuerzas armadas. Llamados del derecho de ser realeza, de ser estado y de posesión de prenda, por daños y destrucciones, y alegatos de ser los ladrones, probado con evangelistas unidos, con comunidades argentinas y comunidades UNASUR, en todos los aspectos científicos y universidades internacionales de la UNASUR y agregados de los estados, los cuales soportaron la realidad del sufrimiento de Latinoamérica. Middle. ODECMTMC, middle, plunder, and spawn, middle, 113184342489939 DCEDIEDRMT 6463618489 939298 TEXA middle. Y consideración de derechos humanos para mostrar que somos superiores de que esta persona, usada y demente, tenga medicación y tratamiento. Alejandro Mario Blanco Rodení, DNI 241848, MMDSP IDR 4146, Estado Nacional Argentino conjura y Estado Nacional Argentino disclama y Estado Nacional Argentino comprete realidad jurídica y ejecución por lesa humanidad en contra de la UNASUR. MIDSP 4241, middle, SSU, middle, CIS, middle, EDC 55.NTF9, systems recall, the last tools. The hell doggies, perritos enfermitos, diablos abominables y degenerados, murdering, genociding our people, my people, and UNASUR, in the delusional of a very bunch of prostitutes of Sodoma, United Evangelics, making the whole of the faces for the possibility of people making the same, are abominations, and no one stops. It's like I said, and I shall okay. Sorry the terms and the violence.